There's a lot happening in this world, a lot of noise, a lot of chaos, and let's face it, plenty of stupidity. We live in an era where information is thrown at us from every direction, where people argue over anything and everything, and where it often feels like the world is spinning out of control. The truth is, things have always been this way to some extent. If you've lived long enough, you know the world has always had its share of nonsense. But here's something that's just as true. Life, for all its absurdities, is still something worth treasuring. You've made it this far, through the highs and lows, the laughter and tears, the joys and the struggles. And here you are, at this stage of life where you can look back with the kind of wisdom only experience brings. So, even when the world seems ridiculous, and let's be honest, it often does, there's still something beautiful, something worth holding on to. After all, it's your life, and that alone makes it something special. 1. The same old, recognizing the patterns of life. Let's start with something familiar. The realization that the world has always had its share of chaos. People tend to think that things are getting worse, that society is somehow more chaotic today than it was 20, 30, or even 50 years ago. But you know better. You've been around long enough to see the patterns. Life has always been full of change. Some of it good, some of it less so. Think about all the shifts you've witnessed. When you were younger, the world was in the midst of great technological leaps. You saw the rise of television, then computers, and later the internet. You remember when a phone was something attached to the wall, not a device in everyone's pocket. Back then, people complained about different things, whether it was the cost of gas or the state of politics. And yet, through it all, life moved forward. What's striking is that even with all the new technologies, social movements, and innovations, some things never really change. People still argue about politics, even though we've seen countless administrations come and go. We still worry about the economy, even though it's survived recessions, depressions, and booms. Human nature, with all its quirks and contradictions, remains the same. We still love, we still fear, we still make mistakes. We've been through so much, and yet here we are, continuing on. One thing becomes clear after living through decades of change. The world has always been a little ridiculous, and it always will be. But does that mean you should throw your hands up in frustration? Not at all. Because hidden within all this absurdity is something worth cherishing. The simple fact that you're still here, still part of this ongoing journey. Life's patterns, though repetitive at times, are part of what makes it interesting. You've seen it all, and yet there's still more to see. 2. Let go of the ridiculousness. Finding peace in simplicity. There comes a point in life when you realize you don't need to engage with every little bit of nonsense the world throws your way. When you were younger, it may have seemed important to stay on top of everything, to know what was happening in the news, to keep up with the latest trends, to worry about what others thought. But now, you've earned the right to let go of all that. At this stage in life, it's not about keeping up with the world's craziness anymore. It's about finding peace within yourself. There's wisdom in understanding that the world will keep spinning no matter what you do. It's liberating to realize that you don't have to solve every problem, engage in every debate, or get caught up in every trend. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You can just be. What does that look like? It might mean turning off the TV when the news becomes too overwhelming, choosing instead to spend your time on things that bring you peace. Maybe it's a quiet walk through a familiar park, or an afternoon spent reading a book you've always meant to finish. It could be a cup of coffee in the morning, enjoying the stillness before the world wakes up. You've earned the right to focus on the moments that truly matter, the moments that nourish your soul. The ridiculousness of the world will continue, but you don't have to participate in it. You can choose your own path, a path of simplicity, peace, and contentment. 3. Remember what's real. Reconnecting with what matters most. At some point, all of us realized that the things we once thought were so important, things like chasing success, impressing others, or worrying about what people think don't really matter as much as we imagined. When you look back on your life, what stands out aren't the promotions you got or the things you owned. What you remember most vividly are the people who touched your heart, the experiences that shaped you, and the quiet moments that brought you peace. You might remember your children when they were young, the laughter around the dinner table, or the way they looked at you with wide eyes, believing you had all the answers. You remember the friendships that carried you through difficult times, the phone calls late at night when all you needed was someone to listen. These are the moments that made life rich, and they are still real, no matter how much the world changes. In reconnecting with what's real, you allow yourself to focus on what brings you true joy. Maybe it's reconnecting with family, spending time with grandchildren, or rediscovering a hobby you used to love. It could be enjoying nature, appreciating the world's beauty without the need to understand it fully. The real things in life, the relationships, the experiences, the moments of connection, are what give your life meaning. They ground you in a way that the world's chaos never could. 4. Appreciate the ridiculousness, learning to laugh at life. One of the greatest lessons life teaches us is not to take it too seriously. Sure, there are moments when things feel overwhelming, when the weight of the world seems too much to bear, but more often than not, life's little absurdities are just that, little. They're the things we can laugh about if we choose to see them that way. It's easy to feel weighed down by the constant stream of bad news or the never ending cycle of information that bombards us from every angle. But here's the thing, you've lived long enough to know that most of it doesn't matter. The world has always had its share of problems, and it will continue to do so long after we're gone. So why not laugh at the absurdity of it all? Humor, they say, is the best medicine. After decades of navigating the twists and turns of life, you've probably learned to laugh at things that once would have driven you crazy. It's not about dismissing serious issues, but about recognizing that not everything demands your energy. Laughter lightens the load, reminding you that life doesn't have to be as heavy as it sometimes feels. In fact, the older you get, the more you realize how freeing it is to find humor in the little things. You can laugh at the quirks of getting older, how technology feels more complicated than ever, how you can't remember where you put your keys, or how every doctor's visit seems to come with another prescription. Instead of letting these things frustrate you, you've learned to see the humor in them. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the ability to find joy even in the ridiculousness of life. 5. The gift of perspective, seeing the bigger picture. As you age, one of the greatest gifts you receive is perspective. You've lived long enough to see the bigger picture, to understand that life isn't just about the immediate moment, but about the journey as a whole. You've seen tough times come and go. You've watched the world change in ways both big and small, and through it all, you've learned that life has a way of balancing itself out. Perspective is something that only comes with time. In your younger years, every problem felt monumental. Every decision seemed like it would shape your entire future. But now, with decades of experience behind you, you've learned to see things differently. You know that most of the worries that once consumed you didn't matter as much as you thought. You've seen the world go through cycles of prosperity and hardship. You've lived through wars, economic downturns, social movements, and political upheavals. Each of these moments might have seemed like the most important thing in the world at the time, but now you see them as part of a larger tapestry. Life keeps moving, and so do we. This perspective allows you to approach life with a sense of peace. You know that challenges will come, but you also know that you have the strength to get through them. You've done it before, and you'll do it again. You no longer feel the need to rush or to worry about things beyond your control. Instead, you can focus on what truly matters: the people you love, the things that bring you joy, and the moments that make life worth living. 6. Finding peace in the simple things. embracing a slower pace. As you move through these golden years, you may find yourself drawn to simplicity in ways you never expected. There's a certain kind of peace that comes from slowing down, from stepping away from the hustle and bustle of life, and from choosing to live in the moment. Simplicity doesn't mean giving up on life's pleasures. It means finding joy in the small, everyday moments that often go unnoticed. There's something beautiful about a quiet morning, a leisurely walk, or a conversation with an old friend. These are the moments that bring life its richness, moments that you can savor without the need to rush on to the next thing. Maybe it's taking time to enjoy a favorite hobby you've neglected for years, like painting, knitting, or woodworking. Maybe it's watching the birds at the feeder outside your window or tending to the garden in your backyard. These are the things that ground you, the things that remind you that life doesn't have to be complicated to be fulfilling. In a world that constantly demands more productivity, more success, more speed, there's something profoundly liberating about choosing to slow down. You've earned the right to take life at your own pace, to enjoy the simple pleasures that come with each day. 7. Letting go of regrets, embracing life as it is. As you grow older, it's only natural to look back on the past. There are likely things you wish you could have done differently, choices you might second guess, or moments you wish you could revisit. But here's the thing about regret. It's a weight that doesn't serve you. Life isn't about getting everything right. It's about learning, growing, and doing the best you can with what you have at any given moment. We all have regrets. Maybe you wish you had spent more time with family, or maybe you think back on a decision you made in your career and wonder how things might have turned out differently. But as you look back on your life, remember this. Every choice you made brought you to where you are today. And where you are today is exactly where you're meant to be. Each experience, whether it was joyful or painful, has shaped you into the person you are now. Your mistakes don't define you, but your ability to learn from them does. Every wrong turn taught you something important. Every missed opportunity opened the door to something else. And every failure provided the foundation for future success. So, instead of dwelling on what could have been, focus on what is. Embrace the life you've lived, with all its imperfections and triumphs. Let go of the need for perfection and recognize that you've done more than enough. You've made your mark on this world, and that's something to be proud of. 8. Moving forward with gratitude, a final reflection. Gratitude is a powerful force. It has the ability to shift your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, from what's wrong to what's right. As you move forward, gratitude can be the key to finding joy and peace, no matter what life throws your way. There's so much to be grateful for. The people who've walked alongside you, the experiences that have shaped you, the simple pleasures that still bring you joy. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun on your face during a crisp autumn morning, or the laughter of a grandchild who sees the world with fresh eyes. Maybe it's the way a song from your youth can transport you back to a time when everything seemed possible. Gratitude is what allows you to see the beauty in life, even when things don't go as planned. It reminds you that life, with all its imperfections and ridiculousness, is still a gift. And it's a gift that's worth celebrating every single day. 9. Celebrating your legacy, a life well lived. As you move forward, one thing becomes clearer with every passing year. You are leaving behind a legacy, whether you realize it or not. A legacy isn't about money, possessions, or fame. It's about the impact you've had on the people around you, the lessons you've passed on, and the values you've lived by. Your legacy is the love you've shared, the wisdom you've imparted, and the memories you've created with those you care about. Think about the lives you've touched, even in ways you might not have expected. Perhaps it's your children or grandchildren who carry with them the lessons you've taught them over the years. Maybe it's a neighbor or friend who's been inspired by your kindness, your perseverance, or your sense of humor. Your legacy is more than just the physical things you leave behind. It's the way you've shaped the lives of those around you. As you reflect on your life, take a moment to appreciate the ripple effect of your actions. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, and every moment of love has had an impact. You may never fully know the extent of your influence, but rest assured, it's there. Your life has mattered in ways both big and small, and that's something worth celebrating. So, as you move forward, embrace the idea that your legacy is unfolding day by day. Continue to live with purpose, even if that purpose is simply to enjoy the time you have left, to share stories with the loved ones, or to pass on the wisdom you've gained over the years. Your legacy is alive, and it's a testament to a life well lived. A conclusion: embrace life's absurdities and find joy in the journey. Life is a strange, unpredictable, and often ridiculous journey, but it's your journey. You've navigated its twists and turns, learned its lessons, and left your mark along the way. At this stage, the world may seem crazier than ever, but that doesn't mean you can't find joy in the absurdity of it all. In fact, maybe that's exactly what life has been trying to teach us all along, to enjoy the ride no matter how bumpy or ridiculous it gets. You've learned the value of simplicity, the gift of perspective, and the power of gratitude. You've seen the bigger picture, embraced life's imperfections, and found peace in letting go of things beyond your control. And through it all, you've left behind a legacy, one of love, kindness, and wisdom that will carry on long after you're gone. So take a deep breath and look around. The world might be full of nonsense, but it's also full of beauty. It's full of laughter, love, and small moments of joy that make the entire journey worthwhile. Embrace the ridiculousness, cherish the people who matter most, and enjoy your stupid life for everything it is. A beautiful, imperfect, and utterly unique adventure. Because in the end, life doesn't need to make sense to be wonderful. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you find these stories inspiring and motivating, please comment 1. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.